Edmonton. He's just across the street from McDonald's. And tell me, Les, why did you do this?
Well, there was an exercise that I had with my students, my grade 12 biology students, and the idea was them to be able to evaluate properly, take pros and cons, and I used the example of Morgan Spurlock's movie Super Size Me to illustrate what an opinion piece is. And they were a little surprised at that. They thought it was objective, and so I made some offhand comment that I could probably lose weight if I went on a McDonald's diet for a month, and they held me to it.
So what did you do any differently that you lost weight? Because as I understand it, the filmmaker gained a fair bit of weight.
Yeah, I think I got an email from somebody that summed it up really well. They said, I'm actually continuing Spurlock's experiment. He successfully proved what happens if you overeat and you don't exercise, whereas I'm showing what happens, well, if you don't overeat and you do exercise.
And yes, some critics are saying you're advocating eating nothing but fast food. What do you say to that?
Well, it's true. That's what I am. I'm eating fast food, but I'm trying to dispel the myth that it's not bad food. A lot of people are thinking that not only McDonald's food is not good for you, but it's also bad for you. And I think that if I'm able to show that not only am I losing weight and becoming healthier, but I'm hopefully showing that it's not the food that's the variable here, it's the exercise issue.
So how much do you exercise?
Well, for the last couple of years, I've been exercising about 5 or 6 times a week for about an hour at a time. Now, I realize that this is a lot more than the average person. And so when people complain and say, you know what, you're not representing the average person here, and I say, well, perhaps this should represent what the average person is doing.
Some would say that 17 pounds over, almost a month, is not a healthy weight loss. How do you sustain this, though, and keeping going? Because, well, they say about 2 pounds a week is better.
Well, in the short term, you go on any diet, you're going to get that initial loss in weight. I mean, if you start dropping calories compared to what you used to, you're going to get that initial drop in weight. And certainly, I'm not expecting to lose 17 pounds a month every month. In fact, on the last week, I've only dropped 2 pounds, and then it'll probably be a pound a week, a pound every couple of weeks as things start to level out. But I'm coming to the end of this diet plan now, and so, but I imagine that if I were to continue doing it, taking in the same kind of calories, doing the same kind of physical activity, the weight loss will be much more, coming off more slowly.
So what's been the reaction from your students?
Well, it's a kind of a half and half thing. Some of them think I'm out of my mind, but some of them think I'm killing my liver off slowly. But I think for the most part, though, I think, or at least half of them, I think, are quite supportive of it, because I've had an opportunity to explain, you know, or at least provide my side of the event, even though they've seen the Spurlock movie. And if anything, you know, I think initially I was a little disappointed at the Spurlock movie and voiced my concerns that way, but I think it's been very successful in being able to illustrate a couple of messages, not every message in there, but a couple of messages, and also stimulate discussion. Okay,
just very briefly, tell me, what do you eat during the day? Is it just Big Macs? What?
Well, yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Most people say, do you just eat the salads? And no, it's definitely a burger-emphasized diet. I have square meals, so, you know, I have the pop, the sandwich, the fries, and even dessert, at least one dessert a day. Occasionally I have salad. It's kind of ironic, really. It takes being on a McDonald's diet for me to eat salads. I've had more salads in the last 4 weeks than I've had in the previous 12 months. So, it's definitely the sandwiches that I've been doing, but proper meals, not overeating. That's the important thing.
You've got one more day, but the day after, what's the first thing you're going to eat that is non-McDonald's?
You know what? It's hard to imagine. You know, I think I might even just out of convenience come here for breakfast on the Thursday morning. I don't know. I don't even thought that far ahead yet.
Okay, well, thanks very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.